So, about what age did you realize that you were half deaf in one ear, and what was your reaction?
I was about 9 when I figured out that I was half deaf. I was like wearing one of these portable radio things in one of my ears. Uh, I mean, I had two earphones, but I was only wearing it in my right one. And then my family asked me why I was doing that. And then I just did it without noticing whether I was half deaf or not. I was just doing that because that's the only ear I could hear from. And then I think that my parents used that as a segue to tell me that I was half deaf. And then I cried, which was weird. But it was, that's when I first realized I was half deaf, yeah, 9.
You just said, like, how has this impairment affected your daily life? Like, from, like, since you realized it, like, to today?
It started to become a problem when the classes started to get bigger, because then I would have to position myself to the left side of a classroom and be closer to the teacher. And I didn't want to always, out at the top of my lungs tell everybody, I'm half deaf, please take care of me. I would usually just try and position myself where I could hear everybody and then not be a nuisance. The problem that bugs me the most in daily life is when I'm gaming. When I'm playing video games and I'm playing any FPS or anything, directional audio is something that I just can't. It doesn't work for me. So wherever an enemy's coming from, I kind of just play visually and not through audio, which can kind of get infuriating, but it's not at the end of the world. So things like that, it's as I've grown older, people usually are more accommodating of it. Younger people would kind of bully me for that because no one knew better. People didn't really care if somebody had a disability or not, so they would just kind of go ham and scream in my left ear. But it's just small problems like that, nothing too much.
How has it affected, like, not only you, but I guess others, such as, like, relatives or, like, I guess maybe family in general?
It's always weird too, especially if there's a distant family member, and trying to explain them that I'm half deaf, and then there's that whole conversation. Oh, so which ear can you hear from? And then they try it out, which is kind of rude. They speak in one ear and then speak in the other, and like, oh, you are half deaf, like I'm lying or something. It's always awkward to explain. That's why I always try and make it so nobody realizes. But sometimes, especially when you're getting close to somebody, like a new friend, at some point I have to have that talk with them and explain that I have this problem so that they understand why I do certain things when I'm around them, and then they could probably help me out too.